Hey everybody, welcome to the next Studio 220 video where we're going to learn how to integrate our evidence cleanly into a paragraph using the simple 3 steps. So formulas are everything. So let's go. Let's add that proof to your paragraph. I know you've been waiting to hear the formula and people might have been whispering it in the hallways, might have heard about it online, but here it is. Well, background, quote, and connect. That is the secret. 1, 2, 3. You can count to 3 and you can do it. Not hard. You just have to be purposeful. As always. 1, 2, 3, super easy. I'm going to move myself somewhere. Hang on. Let's see where I'm going to go. Really not a good place here. The screen's going to fill up. So let's talk about the background first, and then I'll move. I'm just going to float here. Each quote needs background information. What is this evidence that you're about to present supposed to prove? You need to give some background information, some kind of, you can't just plop it in there. It can't be like a belly button hanging out all by itself. It has to have an intro of some kind, which I know you can do. Next one. Okay, hang on. Then comes the quote, and now I'm going to move up. Perfect. So then comes the quote. This is your actual evidence. It must be added smoothly and with a transition and cited. This is important. You just can't plop it in there. You can't begin a paragraph with a quotation or any kind of evidence. You can't end a paragraph with evidence. It has to be sandwiched. Background, quote, connect. 1, 2, 3. You can have more. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4, but it has to be 1, 2, 3. The connect part is important because this is where you explain why the evidence proves your claim and the topic of your paragraph. So right now you're writing a literary analysis or whatever essay this video was assigned for, and every paragraph has a topic sentence and a topic. So if the topic of this paragraph are symbols, then you need to talk about that symbol, whatever it may be, and keep going back to it so you don't get lost and go wandering off at another place. It's really easy to kind of get distracted in an essay. So that's why you have to have a good topic sentence and stick to it. And I have a sample here for you. Now these are long and each paragraph should really have 2 pieces of evidence. So background, quote, connect twice. That's 6 solid sentences or more. This is not a small paragraph. Every paragraph is going to be big and moosey, big paragraphs, because, hey, we're not playing around here. This is writing studio. Get used to it. Most of you are doing it already. Remember what I said when you moved in. When you moved into my class, I reminded you that you already know how to write. You already know how to read. All I'm doing is perfecting it, adding a little something to the mix. Background is always first. So we're going to start with a sample of background. Introduce your evidence and explain why you've chosen this. And this is student work. She used an article and she wrote, the scholars at Aalto University also want to make physically appealing clothes that consumers will enjoy. Environmentally friendly products are important to the future of our planet. This is her background. Right after this comes her quote. There comes the quote sample. Smoothly, I need to smoothly move myself out of the way. Let me scoot down. Smoothly integrate your evidence. Always begin with a transition. The author illustrates, the author explains according to the author. Don't write the author shows. We're not playing show and tell. You're not seeing a picture. You can, I don't want to read the author shows 8 times in your essay when you have all these other words to use. And there's a list of those words in the file under writing resources. But this one is using, this particular paragraph used 3 different ways to slide it in. The author illustrates, the author stated, things like that. And you always cite by page. So for the purpose of this video right now, you're doing a literary analysis on one short story with pages 1 through 6. When you use the quote, and the quote is from page 3, you just write a 3 in parentheses and put it at the end. You don't need the author's name because you're only writing about one short story. When you're writing about 2 short stories, you'll write like London 3. If it's Jack London's story, or say it's O'Flannery, you'll be O'Flannery 6. So I know what short story you're getting the quote from. But since we're only writing about 1 short story, you just have to put the page number. You don't even write page, you just put a number. Let's see. Here's a sample. I'll move myself up on the corner there. To illustrate, Professor Karianian states, so you have that double transition to illustrate and states, which is okay. Quotation, and there's an ellipsis. Those 3 dots mean there was a lot more to the quote, that long sentence, but she didn't need it. So she just cut it out. But we know that when we go to page 19 of the article she's writing about, we can read the whole thing if we want to. So make a systemic change where sustainable materials are embedded in the system and people can easily buy beautiful and comfortable garments which don't cause environmental problems. She closes the quote with quotations. There's no comma and there's no period. There's nothing inside the quotations unless the author puts it there. You don't get to put anything in there. You don't get to, you do not get to correct that contraction in that quote. Those aren't your words. You don't touch them. All of your grammar goes outside of those quotes. And since the citation is part of the quote, the citation comes before the period. So if you look, she's got 19 because it's from page 19, and she ends her sentence after the quote. Period is after the citation. Citation and the quote go together. They're married. You can't break them up. You can't put a comma. You can't put a period. Forbidden. You're not allowed to do that. And it's really easy if you think about it. Just when you get to the end after you write everything, that's when you put the period in. If there's a comma in there and the author puts it in there, leave it there. Leave it. It's his. That's your transition. It's in pink. Your citation is in red. And that's your quote. Let's get to connect. So connect. Let me move myself. Mouse is working. There we go. Discuss your evidence and connect it to your topic sentence or your claim. So if this paragraph is about symbols and you're giving an example about a symbol, but your claim is about how the symbol talks about the theme, first you want to explain the symbol, and then later on in that paragraph, it'd be nice to touch the claim a little bit and talk about the theme, right? Always remember what your purpose is, what you're analyzing, where your goal is. It's important. The way you know what you're talking about. And I know that you know what you're talking about. And your next year's teacher knows that you know what you're talking about. Oh, look at the transition. Thus, it's pink. Thus, professors and other academics want to make these wooden clothes to improve the environment and to create a new system of clothing that's interesting for many people. That is the student's words. That's her connecting it. Just connecting it to the main idea, which was environmentally friendly clothing. In short, which is a pretty cute transition, I like it. It's kind of like she's closing up her paragraph. In short, in the article, Matt Pickles describes wooden clothes and the motivations for creating this new form of clothing. Now, this is not the end of her paragraph. Her paragraph had to have 2 pieces of evidence, which means she had to do background quote connect twice, which means she had this big fat paragraph. A lot of words, probably 120 words, right? She wrote a lot. She got an A. The more you write, the better your grade is, as long as you stay purposeful and intentional. Follow the formula. You're baking brownies. That's what you're doing. Follow the formula. It's important. You know, it's always, when you learn new things, first imitate, then create later on. So right now, all I want you to do is imitate, follow the formula, count to 3, 1, 2, 3, background quote connect, background quote connect, 1, 2, 3. Transition. Oh, that arrow's pointing the wrong way. I can't. All right. So I'm going to put it all together now and show you half of her paragraph. There it is. Background in blue, quote in turquoise, connect is in yellow. All of the pink are her transitions, and actually where it says Professor Karianian states should also be pink. And that's a beautiful half paragraph. Half. I mean, I can't put that many words on a slide, or I would put the whole paragraph, but you can't put that many words in a PowerPoint. But you get the point. You need to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hey, you've just been flipped. This is your flipped lesson. And I'm going to go in the middle. You've just been flipped. This is your flipped lesson. All right. So now you know the Studio 220 formula for integrating evidence is background quote connect. You can follow that formula. You can count to 3. Don't do 1, 2, 1, 3, 2. Don't do 3, 2, 1. Do 1, 2, 3. And it's okay to make mistakes. Remember, imitate first and create later. I know you can do it. Do your very best. First write your draft and then go after it later when you do your editing. That's the way you do it. And that's the end of this video. So you guys get cracking. Sharpen your pencils and get going. I know you can do it, folks. I know you can do it. All right. Take care. Thanks for coming.